Welcome to the Saturday Special. So excited to be here with you again. I am, as always, Chris Jericho, your host with the least. And first of all, cheers to you guys. Great day here. Appreciate that. A little bit of a problem. I got a vodka shortage in my house. This is all that I have left in the whole house. So it doesn't look like a lot, but it's a giant Tito's bottle. So I also have this glass full. So if we get through all this, it should be a pretty rock and roll night either way. We always have a good time here on the Sunday Special. And don't forget, tonight is also the worst piece of shit ever you're going to see, Talking Shop-A-Mania. I've actually ordered it, and I'm going to watch it as soon as this show is done. You don't have to watch it live. You can watch it kind of on taped or whatever it is. So that's exciting. And also last week we had 3 winners of the free link to the Talking Shop-A-Mania show. So hopefully you got those today. I know Rocky Romero, that piece of shit, waited far too long to get you the codes, but now you have them. So congratulations to that. We are on the verge of sponsors. We actually have 3 sponsors coming up very soon, which is amazing. It took us just a little bit over 4 months to do that, but that's how it works. That's how it works. So we're excited for a great week. Stephen Vandelli, quick question before we get started. Any chance the special moderator between you and Orange Cassidy will be the other half of the Thrill Seekers Lance Storm? Maybe. You never know. It could be. It's a surprise. It's a secret. But it's going to be great. We had a really fun show last week. It wasn't one of my favorite shows, but it was still good. The Demo Gods still destroyed it, as always, like I do. And I think that our shows just continue to get better and better. And I think we're doing a really good job of keeping a lot of great content going in the middle of this pandemic, even though there's no people. I wish that there was more than what we have, but I think we're going to be able to get to that very, very soon, adding some people, hopefully, and continuing this great run that we're on. So obviously, last Wednesday, I announced that on the 5th, which is next week, there was going to be the big debate, the great debate between Orange Cassidy and Jericho, which I'm very excited about. And then, of course, after that, it's the big rematch that the world is waiting for, Jericho versus Cassidy Part 2, which is going to be on the 12th. So lots of great stuff coming up. I'm not going, just trying to clean the screen. Boop, boop. Chris Statlander. So, I am ready to rock it with you guys here. I am the Demo God. And I'm trying to think of any fun things happened this week. I'll tell you a couple of things. So after our match, which I thought was good, it's one of those ones that afterwards, I wish we could have done it a little bit differently, but I still thought it was pretty good. The weird thing was afterwards I did a promo where that freaking jacket keeps getting more and more orange, more and more orange. How the hell does Orange Cassidy do that with his magic juice that makes my white jacket more and more orange every single week? But we really had a good time with that. But the thing is, so I wanted to announce the upcoming activities on the 5th and on the 12th. But it's weird. So when you do a promo, you're in the ring, and usually there's people around. But even if there's not, the sound and the volume goes out this way. So what you want is to have some wedges, or what we call them, like monitors. Oh, that's Oakley. My Oakley, come here, sweetie. My dog tore her ACL. Oakley, come here. Don't be barking. I'm doing the Saturday Special here. My dog tore her ACL, so she has to lie with me. Come here, sweetie. Oakley. Let's see if we can get you on camera. I don't know if we can pan down enough there. Okay, come here, sweetie. Can you put your head up over here? Over here. Over here. Let me show you. She's a really big dog, so that's her right there. But she tore her ACL just like one of the boys would do. So she now has to not move. Sit down, sweetie. And whenever somebody comes by my house, the dogs start barking. We have 5 dogs here, so sit down. You need better sound in your feedback sound, so you get the vibe of it more. There you go. She sat down. So in order to do that, you need to get some wedges on the side, and we never had that in AEW. So we have now added wedges so you can hear your promo better monitors, maybe you might call them. And it's just a little thing that you don't realize what goes into behind the scenes in AEW or in WWE as well. You always have those kind of, you see guys doing a live promo in the ring, they'll have the little monitors kind of up front underneath the turnbuckles. And so that's kind of what those are, wedges, so that the performers can hear themselves as they're doing the promo, which enables you to get a little bit more vibe. So the debate was amazing. So I don't know if we're supposed to say that we taped it or not, but it's great, and you're not going to want to miss it. One of the best things that I've done this year. I know I've said that a lot, but it just keeps getting better and better and better. So anyways, it was a fun week there. And next week, we actually have shows, Fozzy shows, August 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th. We're in Fort Madison, Iowa. Then we're in Minot, North Dakota. Then we are in, I can't remember what the other place is called. I don't remember what it is, but anyways, there are 4 shows, and they are going to be in South Dakota and North Dakota, which there is minimal activity there, shall we say, minimal COVID interference and issues and problems. But so it's a little bit weird. It's the first commercial flight that I've been taking in almost 5 months. And this is from a guy who basically tours the world, travels every week. That stopped for a while, but now we're getting back into it again. There's the tour dates right there. So I'm going to try and see exactly where we go here. Boom. So yeah, so August 6th, Riverfest, Fort Madison, Iowa. August 7th, the District in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. August 8th, the Original in Minot, North Dakota. And August 9th, Iron Horse Saloon, Sturgis. Now, Sturgis, if you remember, is the place where we used to film Road Wild and Hog Wild, those WCW pay-per-views back in the 90s. And the cool thing about it is the Sturgis is just this crazy cool bike festival, and it's jam-packed with, of course, the bikers. You know, you see some big dudes, you see some kind of portly dudes, you see a lot of chicks with their asses hanging out of the chaps, which is never a problem. Lots of tattoos, lots of hair, lots of piercings, and lots of people who just live free. So we used to do those shows, and I was there 2 years. And what they would do is the bikers would kind of all watch from the parking lot, and our ring was set up in the middle of the parking lot, and they would rev their engines if they liked what you were doing. If they didn't like what you were doing. So the second year, I wore a kimono to the ring, and I was talking about how I was excited to be driving my Honda, my crotch rocket, I think I called it. And of course, I got super crazy boos from that because we were in Sturgis, which of course is Harley Davidson, and you know, God love the Harleys and all that stuff. I actually got the picture right here to pull up and show you guys. Now that I'm a master of the StreamYard like we're doing here. Boom, bam, boom. And there was the picture, as you can see. I wish I could zoom in on that, but you guys can zoom in on it. Boom. That's me in my kimono standing on the ropes. Not a great match with the purple and green and the orange, but I was doing the best that I could. But because I wore that kimono and said that I was, you know, I just rode into my Harley and people were revving the engines, I got a lot of heat. So anyways, here we are 22 years later, going back to Sturgis for basically the first show. We haven't played since January, since the Jericho cruise in January, which was such a blast. And it seems like it was 15 fucking years ago. I can't believe that was still in this year, this crazy year of 2020. And all of you that know that we were going to do the third cruise, triple whammy, on February of 2021. We have now moved that back to October. It was necessary. As much as we hated to do it, I know all the people that were going with us, it was sold out. I hate the fact that we had to do it too. But really, I mean, we had no choice. It was the best for everybody involved. And also, too, like here we are in August. And I remember thinking that like the Rona was going to be done. It started in March. Like, okay, well, let's get this over with, May, June at the most. And then here we are in August, and we still don't know what's going on. And I have to think by February we'll have a lot better results and a lot more knowledge and science and all that sort of thing. But we don't want to have to rush it, and we don't want to put anybody in danger or make anybody feel uncomfortable. So let's just push it back to October, as hard as that may seem at the start. But think about it overall. I think people are going to really enjoy it that much more because they started talking about a social distance cruise, or maybe we do this, maybe we do a resort. No. If we can't do it right, let's not do it at all. And that's the motto. that Jericho has. If you can't do it right, let's not do it at all. So anyways, we're doing a lot of places here, as we always do on the Sunday special, but we are going back to Sturgis to play, and social distancing, I guess, in the crowd, how they're going to do that. But we're going to be staying in our little bubble on the bus. Everyone's tested, masks, social distance. Let's go out there and play some fucking rock and roll shows, and everything hopefully will go exactly as we planned it. And then we can start telling people that it's okay to go and experience some of these great things that we missed. I miss rock and roll. I miss playing shows. I miss watching shows. I was supposed to see Elton John this year, Rolling Stones, Guns N' Roses, The Poison, Def Leppard, Motley Crue show, and so many more in between. Of course, all the Fozzy gigs that we had that were supposed to be in April and May, which then moved to July and August, which then moved to October, November, except for these 4 leftover shows in August. So we will see you guys next week if you live in Minot or if you live in any of those other cities that we discussed. Minot, Sioux Falls, Fort Madison, Sturgis, and it's going to be a rock and roll party. And we got a rock and roll party here as we start finally to answer some of your questions. You've always got some great ones. Let's see. Hopefully, I wish they would have a meet and greet Thursday. Oh, sorry. Do you live up in that area? I think kind of the meet and greets are kind of probably suspended, or if they are, it's not going to be the typical Fozzy meet and greet because we have to kind of be very cognizant of all that. Make sure everybody's safe. Havoc 180. Sorry, Mr. Y2J, for judging a while ago and calling you a traitor on Twitter, saying CM Punk was the best in the world for never giving me a chance. I'm sorry. Well, apology accepted. I didn't see that, but that actually wasn't the question that I wanted to answer. But things go by so fast, as you guys know. So, hi, Chris. I've been going through a lot lately and watching people like you really save me from a dark place. So thank you. Molly Warner says that. And thank you, Molly. I'm so excited that you sent me that because that's why I'm doing this Sunday special. That's why I'm continuing to do it. Once again, starting this 4.5 months ago, or whatever it was, I was not expecting this to last long. Everyone was kind of bored. Everyone was stuck inside. And what I really wanted was to keep people away from the mentality and the attitude of this is Groundhog Day. We're doing the same thing over and over again. Everything's boring. Everything's shut down. That's when I was like, we're not doing this. That's not how Jericho works. That's not how the Friends of Jericho work. We're staying creative. We're being connected with each other. And that's kind of why I continue to do this, to stay connected with you guys and give you guys something to do, including myself, in the middle of all this. So it's become actually a real highlight of my week. And I'm glad you guys feel the same. Mackenzie Taylor, the Jericho Cruise rescheduled dates. My birthday falls smack in there. Jericho Cruise sounds like a great birthday present for my 19 year. If I make it on the cruise, well, if you want to make it, go to chrisjerichocruise.com and let's see if we can figure it out. Please come to Montana for a future show. Eric Larison says, would love to go to Montana, especially now that I'm watching Yellowstone. You guys watch Yellowstone? It's a super cool show with Kevin Costner, and it takes place up in Montana. And I never would have cared about a dude ranch show, but this is like if Sons of Anarchy appeared on a dude ranch. There's deaths and murders and chicanery and all that sort of stuff. Sex, lots of sex. And anyways, it's a great show, so check it out. Not One More Inch. What did you think of Cody versus Warhorse? Listen, I just enjoy the fact that some dudes, some brothers are going to be getting a chance that they haven't. And this week, I'll tell you what, I really enjoyed a lot of the things that happened this week. I think it's great that Eddie Kingston got signed. I'm very, very excited for him. I never heard of him. I had never heard his name. Maybe read his name, but didn't really register. And as a matter of fact, when Cody first said that it was going to be Eddie Kingston, in the back of my head, I was thinking Eddie Edwards. So I didn't really know him. And when I saw him, I was like, this guy's promo was super intense. His match style was super intense. He just was one of those guys who just has that vibe of just being a tough guy, which is rare. I mean, to see a guy in wrestling back in the day, that's everybody was like that, had that tough look to them. But now it's not quite the same. So he looks like a street fighter. He looks like Santana Ortiz. So hearing his 18-year history and all the stuff he's been through, I don't think we brought him in with the intention of signing him, but it sure was cool to kind of see him make his dreams come true by finally get that national contract. And also, too, I got to hand it to John Silver and Alex Reynolds, who also signed their contracts this week, their first national contracts after 14 years. And they deserved it too. They've been doing some great work, but they have a great match coming up this following week. So I love seeing that. On that same wavelength, the women's tag team tournament, I think you guys are really going to like it. And we're giving a lot of different people a chance, a lot of different women that haven't been around for a while or maybe have never been given that opportunity. But I'll tell you what, I was really surprised. There was a match of Nyla Rose and Ariane Andrews and Andrew against Ty Conti and Anna Jay. And I did not know what to expect for this because, a lot of the girls don't have a lot of a lot of experience or respect from that case. And Ty, I'm not sure how many matches she just had. I know that she was with NXT. And Ariane, man, we haven't seen Ariane in a few years now since she was one of the Funkadactyls. So you're like, oh, what's she going to be like? And Anna Jay's super green, and even Nyla's fairly green. So I didn't know what to expect, but I watched this match, and all four girls just kicked ass. It was really good. It was way, way bigger, way better than I expected. I'm not saying that in a mean way either. They really impressed me, all of them. And hopefully we'll get to see more of them because it was really cool. And also Diamante and Ivelisse and Brandy and Ali did good. So it's really cool to see people, get a chance and then rise up to the challenge of that. So I was really proud of everybody this week on our TV show, what happened on Dark, and then what happened on the women's tournament, which I believe is going to run Mondays on YouTube, something like that. So yes, I love it. Are you the owner of AEW? Because one time you said I barred all fans from the arena. No, I am not the owner of AEW, but definitely one of the, the early foundations of it. But I did ban fans from the arena. And when I decide they can come back, I'll allow them back. Until then, I'm not sure. Portia Frederick, I had a dream. Is it Portia? I had a huge dream about being a wrestler, but I get, made fun of it. My question is, if I try hard enough, do you think I could make it as a wrestler? I mean, the answer is absolutely. Absolutely, you can make it as a wrestler. I'll tell you the reason why, because you never know unless you try it. And there's nothing wrong with trying something and having it not work out. There's everything wrong with not trying something and always wondering. There was a time when I was wondering if I could be a wrestler. Can I do this? And here I am almost at 30 years, if you can believe that. October 2nd, 2020 will be my 30-year anniversary. I got some cool stuff planned as well. Still working on that ultimate list of Jericho, of every match that I've ever had, because I've been writing them down since my very first match, October 2nd, 1990. I showed it to you a few weeks ago, the actual piece of paper that I wrote that match listing. It was the match one, date, October 2nd, 1990, versus Lance Storm, where Pinoca, Alberta, finish, 10-minute draw, star rating, the 3 stars or whatever, is probably 1 star. And I think the money that I made for it, which was $30, a 20 and a 10, and an envelope that came with Jericho written wrong, Jericho. So anyways, we're going to put up this book. I'm going to self-publish it. And I'm working on it right now with Alex Marvez and Pete Fornatail, who's been my collaborator for all 4 of my New York Times best-selling books. I figured now's the time to self-publish the way that the world is nowadays. So it's going to be the complete list of all my matches. And then I'm going to compile top 10 lists, top 10 best matches, worst matches, Madison Square Garden matches, best matches in Japan, best matches in WWE. And we have all this, that's not just my opinion, because I have star ratings for everyone. I think I just started reading the Wrestling Observer that time and seeing Dave Meltzer doing a star rating. And I decided to adapt that. So I'm going to look through the vaults and find some cool pictures. I used to take so many pictures in my first, 8 to 10 years in wrestling, because I was traveling the world, Japan, Mexico, England, Germany, all around Canada and all that sort of stuff. So I took so many pictures. And the first ones of those ones, you take the box camera and you throw it in your bag and save it for later. So we're going to have that. We're going to have a forward from a very cool person, a very cool intro. So it's not going to be so much of a chapter and chapter and chapter and chapter. It's more of just a documentation of every match that I've ever had, which, Some people might think it's cool. Some people might not give a shit, but I think there's never been anybody of my stature. When I say my stature, I'm not saying that I'm, king shit of Turd Mountain. That's an old school one. I'm just saying more that I've been doing this for 30 years at a high level all around the world in so many different countries. I don't think you're ever going to get that anymore because just the business has changed. And the fact that I've kept a list of every match I've ever had, I'm really, really happy about that. I want you guys to be able to experience it. So hopefully you can see it for yourselves. Maduka T says, best AC/DC song that could be a wrestler's theme song. Name one. I think they used War Machine for WWE pay-per-view. I think Shoot You Through would be great. Remember a guy that I used to know in wrestling school. He used Walk All Over You, which is kind of funny. And that's another thing too. So anyways, I forgot to mention, so when we do this 30th anniversary book, and then I would like to give the list of the matches to Alex Marvez and Dave Meltzer and Brian Alvarez, and then have them do kind of a sit-down interview about all of these matches. And if it takes 8 hours or 10 hours, slice it up. We can put it on my YouTube channel, or I can sell it to Hulu or Amazon Plus or whatever it may be. Once again, I always wanted to, if I could get Ringo Starr and Paul McCartney in the same room and have them just talk about all the experiences they must have had, I think it would just be mind-blowing. So that's kind of what I'm doing right now with this. And then the last thing is I'm going to do a couple podcasts with Lance Storm of our first and second match. I want to do watch-alongs. And the first match was really good for two green guys, and the second match was really bad. So I think that'll be fun for us to be able to watch along with that. And Ari says, red bandana was a nice touch to your outfit. Well, thank you, Ari. Glad you like it. Appreciate that. DJ Scandalous. Oh, yeah. What do you think of Matt Cardona now in AEW? I'm going to tell you what I think of Matt Cardona, because there might be some issues with him being on the show. And I'm going to tell you why I don't think there's issues in a bad way for me. I told Matt Cardona 5 years ago, maybe even more, 8 years ago, get the hell out of WWE. There comes a point in time when you can't just be a punching bag anymore, and he's far too good for that. He looks like $1 million. He knows how to work. He's very solid in the ring. He's very creative. He just needs some confidence. He just needs a chance. And I'm really excited that Cody and Tony decided to give him a shot. And I know I would love to work with him. I don't want any more of this Long Island IC bullshit. It's gone. It's like the first night Hager was in AEW and they started chanting "We the People." I said, that's done. That's it was a bad idea from bad creative. And it's the same with Long Island IC. The former name, the former ZR, he's dead and buried, guys. He's done. This is a whole different thing. And we're going to show you just much of an ass kisser. How much of an ass kicker Matt Cardona. He's not an ass kisser. Sometimes he has deer in the headlights, but he's an ass kicker. He works very solid. He works very strong. He works very believable. He looks like a monster, especially in our company. So I'm excited to have him in AW, and he is more than welcome to be there with us. All right. Let's see what else we got. Yesterday was Sam Maisie's birthday. Can you wish her happy birthday, please? Join us in a rousing rendition of happy birthday to Sam Maisie. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Sam. Happy birthday to you. That's the secret of happy birthday. Never started too high. A lot of people start like, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to happy birthday. So you got to really start a little lower. Next time you go to a birthday party, everyone sings happy birthday. Just check that out. You'll see exactly what I mean. But happy birthday, Sam. John Brooks, I pre-ordered a little bit of a bubbly figure. I'm really looking forward to it. These figures are very, very cool. And I really love the AEW, the bubbly figure that actually comes in a bottle of bubbly. It looks like this, but it's not filled with bubbly. You open the front of it, and there's a little guy in there, and it's me. And it's got, like I said, the yellow solo cups, and not red solo cups, trademark Jeff, but all that stuff is in there. And it's a little table with the catering on it and all that sort of stuff. So I think a lot of people have really been looking forward to this I know I have. And a lot of collectors are really excited about it. It's some of the best crafted action figures that I've seen. Are you watching Talking Shop of Mania? I told you I'm watching it on Fight TV. I bought it, and I will watch it after the Saturday Night Special. So hopefully you guys can join us for that. Ian McNary, in honor of the Osborne Motor Hotel, the Zoo coming down. Best memory of Winnipeg Lime. That sucks. So the Zoo is just this great rock and roll club that me and my friends grew up in, late 80s. And like, you know, all these killer bands would come there. And we used to have this club called the Zoo Crew. And we'd go there. I think every Wednesday night was like, 25-cent draft or something like that. And someone would get a car or borrow their dad's car and drive down to the zoo. And then you go just fucking drink, like cheap beer and watch whatever band there was. And there was a band that came to town called Nasty Class. And that's Nasty Class with a K, because that was what you did back then. And they were such a killer cover band. I remember they played so many cool things. I remember there was a great Aerosmith song that they played. Sick as a Dog was like, they played, of course, the hits of the time. They played like Sick as a Dog by Aerosmith, and they played Rock and Roll Fantasy. But we got to know the guys because they would come through town every few months and they'd stay for a week. So when they came, we went on the Wednesday. These guys are great. Let's go on Thursday. Let's go on Friday. They end up going back to the hotel with them, and you're partying. There's girls around. It's like, this is the rock and roll experience, man. It's like David Lee Roth said, it's a rock and roll experience, man. So such a great place, and just probably just a fucking dump as it was back in those times. But such a cool moment, and a cool part of your growing up experience, And they tore it down, which is a drag, as they do. They tore into a lot of clubs. And this place, like I said, was kind of a dive anyways. But Brent Fitz, who is from Winnipeg and is now in Slash's band, he's one of the conspirators. He went down to the Osborne Motor Hotel and grabbed a piece of the zoo and took it with him, some of the concrete. So love you, Zoo. I wonder what Nasty Class is doing nowadays. Any Nasty Class updates? I'm sure they probably lasted another few months, and that was about it. But they were a great band. I remember the drummer's name was Archie, because he looked like he was in Archie comics, like Archie from Archie comics. Speaking of Winnipeg, don't forget about the Winnipeggers on my YouTube channel. Me and Spewy and Rybo, Dave Spivak and Rybo, just talking, not necessarily about Winnipeg. The first week we talked about Dave's letter to a hotel where he wasn't happy with the service and what the generous amount of shrimp should be. And of course, I told the story about what I ate the night that I beat The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin for the title. It was not the lobster thermidor that you might expect. And this week, it's When Nature Calls. Dave shits his pants on a sales call, and I puke all over myself in front of Kevin Nash and Hulk Hogan. So check out that right now on my YouTube channel. It's also on my Facebook as well. So just three old friends shooting the breeze and hanging out, saying hi. Sean Crawford says, would you like to see Warhorse in AEW? I would like to see him, Griff Grayson, and Brian Pillman Jr. do a metal band stable after seeing them headbang together during his entrance. I think Warhorse did a great job. Once again, you can't sign everybody. But I think that I love the pairing of Griff Garrison and Brian Pillman Jr. I think they look great, and I think they got some chemistry, and I think the girls would like them. And don't forget, we have now for 2 or 3 weeks in a row beat Raw. Last week we beat Raw and SmackDown. This week we beat Raw in the women's demo 12-34. So the demo god thing, it's funny, and I'm half serious, but we really are crushing it in these demos. And the reason why it's important, because people say all that matters is the what's what I'm looking for, is the numbers overall. Sure, that's important, but really what advertisers are looking for are these different demos. There's females and males and combined and age groups and this and that thing. It's very intricate. It's also very boring if I really got into it, but it really makes a difference, and it's really important. So for AEW to win a demo over Raw or SmackDown when we're opposed with NXT, it's not something that anyone's taken lightly, especially WWE. So I'm expecting Steve Austin to show up in the NXT arena very soon, or something like that. Ashley Hooker, what do you think of the Eric Bischoff era? Eric Bischoff, during the Eric Bischoff era, was under a lot of pressure. And that's why I love listening to 83 Weeks, because I hear from a different side what he was going through. Eric Bischoff now is a great guy. He was on the Jericho cruise this year. Just a pleasure to be around, smart, funny. If you would have asked me what I thought of Eric Bischoff in 1998, 1999, I would not have given him a glowing review, shall we say. If you ask me what I think of Eric Bischoff in 2020, 2 thumbs up, great guy, always a pleasure to be around, and nothing but love for him. Hello, I'm from Mexico. I have 2 questions. Why are there no dominant powerhouses in AEW? Why is Brody Lee a clown? Well, dude, I mean, Brody Lee is definitely a powerhouse. I would say that Brian Cage is a powerhouse. I'd say Lance Archer is a powerhouse. There's quite a few big guys in AEW now, and I would hardly call Brody Lee a clown. I think Brody Lee's been doing amazing since he came to AEW, and I'm very, very excited to have him. And I worked with him for years in WWE. When I came back in 2015 and just did house shows, if you guys remember that, I worked with 2 guys, and you'll read that in my Ultimate List of Jericho book. That year, I worked, I think, 60 house show matches, which is just non-live television, and I think 20 of them were against Cesaro, and 20 of them were against Brody Lee, aka Luke Harper. So both of them are tremendous workers and great guys. Now we just have to get Cesaro in AEW and really stir it up. I think Cesaro in AEW would be one of our top guys. So, Adrian Alley, do you remember the Corazon de Leon, Lionheart, Leon de Oro, Lion Do, Super Lager? Of course I remember. I did them all. And shout out to Sun Gun E. Corazon de Leon, which is Lionheart in Spanish. Lionheart, which is Lionheart in English. Leon de Oro is the Golden Lion. Lion Do, and Super Lager. So I'll tell you the story about Lion Do. You guys might not know about that story. So when I came to WAR, which was run by Genshiro Tenryu in the 90s, he had his top guy was Hiroyuki Fuyuki, Samson Fuyuki he was called. He and Tenryu had jumped from another company, from All Japan, to this money company called SWS, which fell through. Then they ended up in WAR. The top heel faction was Fuyuki, Jado, and Gedo. Going back a few years, when I first went to Mexico, Jado and Gedo were there. And, foreign guys, I think I met up with them. I was always enamored with Japan, always wanted to go to Japan, and just really liked the Japanese culture and Japanese people. And they didn't have a lot of money, nor did I, but I had a little bit more no money than they had. So I used to maybe took them out for dinner, took them out for lunch a few times. And there used to be this a Mexican version of Denny's called Veeps, which I didn't realize was VIPs. It took me years to figure that out, not a rocket science. And scientist, sorry. And I bought them a hot dog. Where do you guys want? We'll have a hot dog. Like, you can get a steak or a burger or chicken. I want a hot dog. Okay, great. So when I went to WAR through Ultimo Dragon Yoshihiro Asai, I was a bad guy. So I was on the bad guy bus with Jado and Gedo, who I had known from before. So we struck up a friendship. After about, I guess, 6 months of working there, maybe, Jado hurt his shoulder, and he was out for like 2 or 3 months. And so they had this really hot trio, Fuyuki-gun, which is Fuyuki, Jado, and Gedo, like I said. And WR was based around trios, three men, 6-man tags, three-man teams. And they needed a third guy, and they asked me to do it, or told me to do it, or I was and it was the biggest push of my career at that point, because I went from being just a random heel junior heavyweight to being in the top heel division in WAR. So it was Fuyuki, Jado, Gedo, and Lionheart. So they changed it to Lion Do. And that was my name for years, Lion Do. I can even sign that in katakana, which is the Japanese form of writing that I can read. And I stayed in that group. And then when Jado came back, then we were a four-piece, shall we say. And that's happened to me quite a few times, where injuries have really advanced my career. The other big one, of course, is when Triple H tore his quad and he was out and that led to me winning the Undisputed Championship because he wasn't available. So it was Rock, Steve, Kurt Angle, and myself. Had Triple H been healthy, I'm sure he would have been in it over me. All right, what else we got here? Saul Sultan. Why wasn't MJF a member of the Inner Circle? He was asked, and we never got to that point because we had a very fun promo. Yes, let me see what else we got. Who was a sneaky good Attitude Era opponent? Sneaky good? I'm not sure what that means. What's the Attitude Era? Obviously, my favorite opponent in the Attitude Era was The Rock. We had great chemistry because I was one of the few guys that could go toe-to-toe with him on the mic. The Rock was so great on the mic. He just buried everybody that he was in the ring with verbally, which makes it so hard for people to think that the heel can beat you. And Rock, I'm not saying Rock did it on purpose, but he was just so fucking charismatic that it was hard to face up against him. So I could do that. And that's one of the reasons why we had such good chemistry in the ring physically, but also as opponents. He was the ultimate heel. Sorry, I was the ultimate heel. He was the ultimate babyface. And I thought we worked magic together. We probably would have done a lot more if he hadn't left to go become the biggest movie star in the world. So I would put him in there. But sneaky good era. Maybe you might not know, I'm assuming. I'll tell you a sneaky one that you might not know. Rikishi. I loved working with Rikishi. Junior was his name. And he was a great guy, obviously from the Samoan tribe, with, Roman Reigns is in there and the Usos and Big Sam, Little Sam. I'd stick Haku and Barbarian in there, even though they're from Tonga. They're similar, but all of them, great guys, solid as a rock, take the shirt off their back for you. And when they get drunk, stay the fuck away from them because they'll beat the crap out of you. But great guys. But Rikishi, I love working with Rikishi. And I actually gave Rikishi the name for his finish when he would stick his ass in your face and rub it back and forth. I gave him the name Stinkface. And I got the name Stinkface from the Kevin Smith movie Mallrats, where they give somebody the stink palm. And the stink palm is when you shove your hand into your ass and you rub it around and you pull it out and you rub it on the pretzel. If you remember that, the guy gives the pretzel to his boss and he's like all chocolatey and he gets the chocolate over his hand and gives it to him. He's like, this is good. So that was called the stink palm. So I thought, well, you're not sticking your palm up your ass. You're sticking someone's face up your ass. So use the stink face. So that's where it came from. So the first time I met Kevin Smith, I said to him, thank you for stink palm, which then begat stink face. Bet you guys never thought you'd hear these stories here tonight, right? Maybe that's why you like being here. In the last Sunday special, last week you gave a story about how Batista and your steel cage match, you got in trouble. All right. Shall I go through this one? Okay. So we had a cage match and it was me and Dave Batista. And I was the champ. And Vince wanted to build up the following pay-per-view, which was Taboo Tuesday or Cyber Sunday. And this was one of those shows where the fans would vote for your match. I think we've discussed it before, the Shelton Benjamin one. So Vince wanted something as a pop, something to pop. And it would be Jericho trying to regain the title from Batista with special guest referee who ended up being Steve Austin. So that means I had to lose the title. This is the WWE where they just switch titles back and forth. That's one thing I love about AEW. When they win the title, you get to keep it for a while because that's how you really get established as a champion. So we have this cage match to win the title back from Batista. Sorry. So we did the Taboo Tuesday. Steve is the ref. Dave wins. I'm going to win it back the following week. And Vince wanted that to happen because he wanted people to know that when they buy Taboo Tuesday, Cyber Sunday, when they vote, that your votes can happen. Your votes will make a difference, and you'll kind of be able to get what you want if you vote and buy this show. Make sense? So we go to Tampa where we're going to do the rematch. It's going to be in a cage, and Dave wants to get color. He wants to get some juice. And at that point in time, juice had been abolished because of a match a few months earlier between myself and Shawn Michaels, Jericho versus HBK, where Sean bled so bad. Like, it was bad. It was like Carrie level bad. Jericho, Night of the Legends, Smoky Mountain, 1994 bad. Just like buckets of blood. Vince was just getting more major sponsors. Like, no more blood. Gigging is banned. Juice is banned. Dave wanted to get some color because he said it's a cage match and, I'm losing. And I would like to get some color. And I was like, dude, listen, Vince is adamant no. But if you're going to do it, just don't tell me. Don't say a word to me. I don't want to know. We do the match. There's a part in the match. And by the way, of course I knew. I just was like, just tell me minimal stuff. And so we had put like this foreign object up in the corner of the cage. He said, when you go up and grab the foreign object, hit me with it and give me some time. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So we go up there and I pull like a pipe out of the top of the cage. And he's got me like he's going to powerbomb me off the top rope. The powerbomb was his finish. So I'm looking down. His head is here. And I spike him. Boom. He falls down. I'm on the top rope. I start climbing over the cage. He gets color. He comes over. He grabs me. We fight. Action, action, action. Something. I fall to the floor. I'm the new champion. He's got color. I go back through the curtain, and Vince doesn't say anything, and I just kind of walk through. And I change, take a shower. I'm starting to drive home because it was in Tampa. I get a call on my phone. Vince is furious. What the hell are you doing? There's no color. And angry. And next week, I'm going to tell you what your fate is. Hangs up. I remember looking at my phone. It was 18-second call. And so the next week, we're in London. So I got to wait a whole week and fly overseas with kind of this shadow hanging over my head of what's going to happen to me. So like we get to London, and we get, after the show is done, Raw, we get pulled into a secret room. There's a bunch of chairs lined up in a semicircle. And at the end of the semicircle right here, there's a TV with like a VCR set up. Me, Batista, Mike Chioda, who was the referee, Dean Malenko, who was the agent of the match, Dean and Johnny Ace, John Laurinaitis. Vince comes in. He's got his back to me. He goes, gentlemen, I've got some footage to show you. Johnny. And Johnny goes to start the VCR, and he can't start it. So, this will just pressing a button. Just give me a second, Vince. That's almost done. He's hitting this fucking button, and of course it's not working. And then Kyoto's like, hey, man, I know how to do it. I'm like, fuck, talk about like signing your own death warrant, like pulling your own switch on the electric chair. If it doesn't work, it's even better for us, Kyoto. Anyways, they finally get to work. And what they have here, and this is the craziest thing. There's cameras at WWE. There's the hard camera, which is in the back, and there's the handheld camera guys. What I did not know is there's a camera, like if this is handheld, hard camera, handheld, there's like a camera like up here. And what they did was they had grabbed this one camera angle. And when Batista grabbed his Blizzade to gig himself, they put like one of those white lights around his head, like you would see like if somebody discovered a UFO, that you like, and the UFO is here, like, and you see the little UFO. And during this circle around his head, that's when he got the color. And then they stopped it, rewound it. And so it's okay. It's obvious that he gave him also to Big Dave's bald, and he's got a big line right there. So it's pretty obvious what happened. So Vince is like, okay, it's obvious that you gigged, and Dave's like, I'm not denying it, but that's the proof. And he goes, now, I could fire all you guys, but that'd be too easy. We need some restitution here. We need some what's what I'm looking for? Accountability, I guess you'd say, consequences. So he goes to Dave, because I could lose sponsors potentially for this, I'm fining you $100,000. Everyone's just like, what? And I don't care who you are. $100,000? Like, that's fucking ridiculous, right? And then he looks at me and he's like, and Jericho, sorry, so he's $100,000. Like, this is, I have to do this. I have to draw a line in the sand. The worst thing is, none of you even called me to explain what happened. And let me rephrase that. Vince didn't call me that night. I forgot. I called him. He answered, chewed me out, 18 seconds. So none of you guys called me. This is why I have to be so stiff with this. So he turns to me and he goes, and Jericho, and before he said, Vince, I called you. And he was like, yes, you did call me. You're fined $5,000. And I was like, $5,000? I'll take it. And I was almost smiling. Like, what are you smiling at? Nothing. And I'm thinking, if I hadn't reminded him that I had called him as well, I bet you I would have been fined $100,000 too. And then he fined Dean Kyoto $5,000. Though Kyoto legit did not know about any gig, and Dean certainly didn't know. He got fined $5,000 too. And when Dean said I didn't even know, Vince said, "Well, damn it, Dean, you should know. You should find these things out. You need to know this stuff." So that was kind of how it happened. And the epilogue to this is that Big Dave paid for everybody's fines, which shows what kind of a guy he is. So crazy stuff. So don't get color in WWE unless you're absolutely supposed to. You guys still with me here? Having fun? We got big numbers tonight. Wow. Now trying to figure out what we're going to sing for the sing-along as well as we start getting ready to think about wrapping up pretty soon. Excluding Stryper, who is your favorite Christian metal band? Well, I love Barren Cross. We did a great classic album clash of Barren Cross, State of Control versus Atomic Arena with Richard Christie from the Howard Stern Show. Barren Cross, that's State of Control. And Howard Jones from Light the Torch. We got a great little Christian metal group. Guardian, White Cross, Sacred Warrior, Bloodgood. Love Bloodgood. Great band. I had the pleasure of actually the last concert I ever went to before the world blew up was Kiss and David Lee Roth in Bakersfield, California, March 2nd, maybe 2020. And I went with Red Cup Jeff and Les Carlson, the singer of Bloodgood. So there you go. Bloodgood will be on Talk is Jericho very soon as well. Davish Ramudit, do you have any ideas what the future holds for Chris Jericho when you retire? Well, I was planning on retiring years earlier, but I just started having fun again. It all started when I just did the house shows in 2015. That's when I thought I'll probably just wind down and just do house song. What did I say? House shows for a while, and I realized, these are fun, and the pressure of not being on TV was amazing. And then I went back for one more little stint. I went back, actually, it was supposed to be for a 3-month stint. As I'm killing off the Tito's here, I'm officially vodka-less in my house. What a terrible state of affairs. But then in that 3-month span, I think I was just going to work to WrestleMania or whatever it was. I think Vince said, just come back and do a run. And we'll figure something out for whatever. I think it was to do something with Ambrose. That's what it was. And I came back and I started having so much fun. And then I met Kevin Owens. And we had just a great chemistry. We clicked right away. And I was like, this guy gets it. He's a lot like me. Like, he doesn't take things seriously, but he takes his work seriously. But he's not afraid to make himself look stupid if it's going to get a reaction. And that's when the whole Jericho Owens best friends thing happened. And that's when I was really like, this is awesome. And then we did this great program, probably not being a jerk, probably the top program on Raw for the better part of a year. And you guys might have heard this story before. And I had the meeting with Vince, and the idea was to be Jericho and Owens for the World Championship, headlining WrestleMania in Orlando. A week later, that changed to Brock and Goldberg headlining. And they put us on second instead of last, fine. You know, I'm a big boy. I can handle when we're not the main event. But you're going to put us from the last match, like the 12th match, to the second match. And that's when I was like, you know what? I'm done here. And then Japan popped up. That was a lot of fun. Then, of course, AEW, which I'm having the time of my life. So I don't know when I would retire. But when I do, I would love to continue being involved in commentary and being a consultant. I don't want to be an executive vice president. I don't want to be a writer. I'd love to be a consultant. And of course, obviously, Fozzy, man. That's the best thing about being Fozzy. We can do this till we're 77 years old, like the Stones. Also, I continue doing stuff like the Saturday Night Special and Talk is Jericho. And there's a lot of cool acting things coming up too. So I will be entertaining you until the day I leave this mortal coil. Hopefully that's not for a while, and hopefully you'll stick with me until I do. Thanks. Robert Gilbert, sing-along song. Wow, Van Halen, Ice Cream Man. That's not bad. I never sang that before. Justin English, what do you think of the band Creed from my girlfriend Megan? I don't see why people... Creed and Nickelback are anomalies to me. Both of those bands are amazing. They sold freaking huge amounts of records, and yet everybody gets on their case for being popular, for being awesome. I don't know. I don't know Creed personally. I know Mark Tremonti. He's a great guy. He's a great guitar player. So you know what? Actually, I know all the cats from Creed except for Scott Stapp. Flip is awesome too. What a fucking funny guy. His brother's great too. His brother Todd used to work for us in Fozzy. Super funny guy. He's kind of a fat guy. You hold his hand out, you hit it, his shorts would fall down. Great guy. So yeah, I don't love Creed. I'm not one of the ones that ever had their albums, and that's just because it wasn't really my thing. But fuck, God bless them, man. Much respect. And they sold 30 million albums, so some of you guys out there must have one. Do you want to see Ricochet in AW, or as me and Jack Slade just say, Ricocket? Yes. Huh. That's all I got to say about that. Yes, I'd love to have Ricochet in AW. I'd work with him in a second. Muhammad Al-Shabibi, opinion on Ricky Starks. Another guy I had no idea who he was. Came in, killed it, did a great job, got signed, had a promo last week, got hit in the back with a freaking tack infested skateboard. Thumbs up to Ricky Starks. Another congratulations to him. Paula Garcia, do you have any funny stories about the time you guys toured with Steel Panther in Europe? One day with Fozzy in Spain with your own tour. I remember you guys in Spain. It was up the stairs. The venue was up the stairs. Just being on tour with Steel Panther at all is great. We lost a shitload of money on that tour just because of circumstances beyond our control. But we had one of my favorite tours I've ever had. Crowds were huge. Steel Panther is fucking huge, man. I never realized how big they are. But yeah, we had a lot of fun filming stupid videos backstage and traveling on their bus or traveling on our bus and just talking about Van Halen and rock and roll and good times, man. Great guys. And I really enjoyed hanging with them. So, okay, as we start to wind down here, God, we have a huge crowd here tonight. Thought you guys were going to go watch Talking Shop, or maybe you're going to watch it after us like I am. Chris Jericho, you're one of the best loved and hated wrestlers that AEW ever had. Well, that's great to hear because that's the idea. Kilo Fang, do you sing in the shower? Yes, I do sing in the shower. But I listen to podcasts in the shower. I put my phone up where you can't really get it wet, and I listen to that. So we have Ice Cream Man. You should sing Eye of the Tiger. Wow. That's a high song to sing. I might sing that one. What do you guys think? Should I sing Eye of the Tiger? Would that be cool with you guys? Gosh, I hate when these things. Oh my gosh. What's your opinion, Jim Credits, Chris Raw? Dude, just give it up already, man. I mean, you don't like it. I appreciate that, but just don't watch it and leave us alone. Go watch fucking WWE or something. See how that makes your aneurysm explode. Only listen to your podcast and download any copy. Any good download stories have you made? Michael Starr listen to Black Album. I'll say the story right again. I told all the good download stories on the Andy Copping show. Andy Copping is the promoter of Download, which is the biggest and best festival in all of England. And I love playing there. We love playing there. We won't play a lot of festivals anymore because it's really not unless you're headlining, it's really not worth it. And we're not taking, side stage number 2 just to be on anymore. So we have a couple rules and thoughts and regulations, but Download always puts us in the main stage. It's always a blast. But Michael Starr, singer of Steel Panther, we were watching Metallica. They were headlining the year we were there. I think it was 2012 or 14. And we were on the side of the stage. And they started with Don't Tread on Me and went back. Or sorry, Don't Tread, Struggle Within. They started with the last song and went up to the first song, which of course is Sandman. So I'm on the side stage with Michael Starr, and we're watching Metallica, doing the Black Album. He's like, I don't know this song. I don't know these songs. I don't know this song. I'm like, you don't know the Black Album? Like, It's a pretty popular album. He's like, no, I don't know. I'm like, okay, well, most of the hits are on the first side. So it's like, wherever I roam, that one? No. Nothing else matters. I know that's on the second side. Yeah, I might have heard this one. Unforgiven? No. Fucking, Sad But True? No. Enter Sandman. You know this one? I think I know this one. This is Metallica, right? I'm like, dude, yes! It's Metallica! You're standing side stage in front of 100 people? Anyway, so he did not know Metallica. He was more of a Van Halen guy. And I said, if we went to high school together, I probably would beat you up. Although I would. I like Van Halen in high school. Fuck, you didn't, man. Who do you want to win the Stanley Cup? Winnipeg Jets, baby, of course. I just love the fact they're playing again. It's good for everybody. All right, we're going to take a few more questions. Danny Ash, any stories about drinking in Thunder Bay, Ontario? I heard you love Loch Lomond. Oh, my gosh. So we did a high school trip. Not even a high school trip. I was in college at the time, probably 1989, to Thunder Bay, Ontario. We did a few of them. Because Thunder Bay, it smells of, it's a pulp and paper city, so it smells of like pulp, shall we say. There's a certain smell. Prairie people know what a paper mill, that's what a paper mill smells like. So we would pool our money in high school, and there'd be like a company that would hook it up, and you sign a release form from your parents. Come on, Mom, let's go to Thunder Bay. It was about a 5-hour drive this way, or maybe it was 8 hours. I don't know. You get in a bus, everyone meets up, and dude, like we're 15 or 16, but fuck, man, you are hiding the vodka, and you're like, okay, it's time to go. Hey! There's always like a couple older brothers that could hook it up for you. And you just go fucking crazy. So much fun. I went 2 times. And, God, I mean, there's like a swimming pool and a jacuzzi and a hot tub. You got a bunch of teenagers there. And from other schools that you don't know. You meet some chicks from another school. You're like freaking Brad Pitt. The chicks from our school, we dudes from another school. You lose all the chicks that you like. I mean, oh my gosh, it was so much fun. And I remember the bus driver. Why do I remember this stuff? His name was Don. And the 16-year-olds were ready to go out for dinner one night, or 17 or whatever the fuck, 18, whatever we were at that point in time. And Don's like, yeah, I can take you to the Panzerotti place. And we're like, what's a Panzerotti? And I might even be pronouncing this wrong. I said, what is it? It's like a big giant pizza pop if you're from Canada. A big giant like turnover with inside is your pizza stuff. So a normal piece of pizza is like this. A Panzerotti is like this, whatever the hell it's called. Go to the Panzerotti place. And we're like, oh man, I don't know if I want to go to the Panzerotti place. Finally, we go to the Panzerotti place. And it's kind of sketch and it's pretty bad and like it's not awesome. And we find out later the reason why he was like begging us and telling us, basically strong-arming us to go to the Panzerotti place, was because he got a cut of whatever we spent at the Panzerotti place. It was kind of like one of those things when a taxi driver in Vegas takes you to the strip club and then gets a kickback on it. So he got a kickback on the Panzerotti place. But lots of drinking, lots of fun, making out, getting to second base, whatever that meant. Thunder Bay, what a great place. Ski resort was probably the worst ski hill ever. Or maybe it's good. I don't remember. I just remember it was an awesome time. And I loved those high school trips. And if my son ever came in with an order for him to go on a high school trip to Thunder Bay, I'd sign it for him. All right. I love to hear you and Kevin Smith do an NHL podcast. I don't know enough about the NHL nowadays to do that, but we are going to be working more on Grains and Greens, which is a movie watch along. Michael Nettles. Toby Van Esselstein. Do you like when the fans sing Judas? Yes. It's one of my worst things that nobody sings Judas. Well, they kind of do, but fuck. We were just getting it rolling at that point in time, right when the Rona came, like right after the boat, after the cruise. People were just screaming the song and singing it. And that's one thing I'm really excited when we come back from all this and have some fans in the crowd that there will be some people singing. I think this too. Matt Hardy still hasn't been in front of a crowd. Brody Lee still hasn't been in front of a crowd. FDR still hasn't been in front of a crowd. Lance Archer hardly in front of a crowd. None of these people have been in front of crowds. Can you imagine what's going with the front of crowds? So excited. Out with the Rona. We're over this shit. Walter. Is Walter puking and drunk yet? This guy pukes every week watching my show. Will the new Fozzy album still release the schedule? We don't ever really knew when it was supposed to be scheduled. We do know that it got to the point where we were supposed to call it 2020. And that would have been cool if it was like Van Halen when you released it, like on New Year's Eve, 2019. If you remember, Van Halen released 1984 on New Year's Eve, 1983. So they got a whole year of 1984 being the album title. We originally thought that was going to be cool. Then Bon Jovi announced Bon Jovi 2020, which is now changed to 2020. And we're like, the Rona came and this happened and that happened and blah, blah, blah. And we were like, you know what? It's probably not going to come out till the fall, maybe even first quarter in 2021. So you can't call it 2020. And plus, who wants to have a fucking record that's going to be around for the rest of your life and call it 2020? You don't want to remember this. You don't want to be remembering 2020 at this point in time. Let's Sing Def Leppard. It's Joe Elliott's birthday today. Rock of Ages might be kind of fun. I used to love it. Unter Gleben, Glauten, Globen. I like that one. Chris, I'm stuck delivering pizzas on Saturday nights now, but I still watch your show live whenever I can. Thank you, because I've ordered pizza a few times. I'm so glad that you guys are out there ordering some pizza and supporting local businesses and all that sort of stuff. So excellent stuff. Saturday Night Sing-Along should be high and dry. Sign up at Def Leppard. I think I'd rather do Rock of Ages. I kind of like that. I got a few more questions to ask, and they fly by so fast. It's driving me crazy. Stop answering so many questions. Someone asked me about, oh my gosh, it's so hard to do this, but I'm doing it for you guys. Let me see. I hate that title, 2020. Bon Jovi, what are you thinking? Okay. Vamsi, Chris Jericho versus Ibushi. That was one of the ones that I wanted to do after. So I wanted to go there and work with Kenny, which I did. And I wanted to work with Naito, which I did. I wanted to work with Tanahashi, which I did. And I wanted to work with Okada. Is there anything left? Yes, there's a lot left. I would love to work with Ibushi. I'd love to work with Suzuki. And I would love to work with Will Ospreay. I think that would be a blast. And I think we would have a great match together. So there's a few of those type of guys I'd love to work with. But I don't know if I'm going to be going back to Japan anytime soon, just for the obvious reasons. So I just want to find this. Wow, BA's asking about Kota Ibushi. Lots of people. So, all right, I think somebody asked me about what I thought about MJF. I think MJF is great. I think he's got everything it takes to become the next AEW champion, and I would probably like to see that. So I'm a big supporter of MJF. And last week, he cut such a great promo when he's talking about his State of the Union address and how about he's making his candidacy to be the next champion. That when we did the debate, I wanted to make sure that I reminded people that who the best promo in AEW is. You know what I mean? MJF is great, but he's not better than Jericho yet. So watch out for that debate, baby. I had some great lines. We start to wind down. Who's the next quarantine song or video? I can't tell you that. We do have a couple of other choices, but I will say this, that there's another band coming out next week, August 6th or 7th, the debut of the Wheel Blocks. It's another super group. And the song we're going to be playing, it's going to blow your mind. It's another great group of friends playing another song by a great band in the middle of a pandemic, putting together this amazing freaking all star-studded rock and roll song. And it's by somebody on this arm. Maybe like this one here. Do you see that? Favorite rock guitarist? Wow, hard to say. Edward Van Halen. It's hard to beat him. I love Michael Sweet and Oz Fox and Stryper. So many great ones. So, oh my gosh, I'm gonna ask 3 more questions. King should have turned mountain. Mr. Democrat, Def Leppard sing along. Love Bites favorite. Okay, we're gonna do a Def Leppard sing along. That's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna look a favorite Beatle. In this day and age, Paul McCartney. It's hard to say. They're all fucking great, man. George Harrison. Ringo. No one says Ringo. I'm going to say Ringo. as we continue. Top 5 people you want in AEW. Wow. Okay, that's a good one. Let's see. Top 5 people on AEW. Roman Reigns. Is this like a wish list? Okay, Roman Reigns, Will Ospreay, Ricochet. Let's see who else. Is anybody else we can think of there? Ibushi, I'd say. Let's do Ibushi maybe. And Don Callis. How's that? Is that a good one? All right, so we're going to do the Def Leppard sing-along. I'm going to try and find it here on my phone. Did you hear that? And I'm trying to find it on YouTube as well. But I'm going to do it on my phone because I find that StreamYard as a device doesn't really allow you to hear anything. And actually, I don't think Def Leppard, they're on. Okay, I'm going to do it on my phone. Okay. So this was by popular demand. Are you guys ready for this one? As I pull up the lyrics, I should be better prepared, but I do this all on the fly. So please bear with me as it takes a while to get things to pop up sometimes because I'm not preparing anything. And that's the idea behind the show. This is just people hanging out and having some fun and having some drinks, just like you're at a party. So let's do this. You guys ready? Okay. Can you hear that? All right. Something to say? It's better to burn out than to fade away. All right. Gonna start a fire. Ow! I'm a little bit ahead. Here we go. You ready? Rise up, gather round, rock this place to the ground. Burn it up, let's go for broke. Watch the night go up in smoke. Rock on. Drive me crazy, yeah. No serenade, no fire brigade, just a pyromania. Come on. I want rock and roll. Yes, I do. Yo, let's strike a light. Gonna blow like dynamite. I don't care if it takes all night. Gonna set this town alight. Come on. What do you want? I want rock and roll. All right. Long live rock and roll. No, yeah. Rock of ages, rock of ages, still rolling, keep rolling. Rock of ages, still rolling, rock and rolling. We got the power, got the glory. Just say you need it. If you need it, say yeah. Yeah! I'm burning. I've got the fever. I know for sure. There ain't no cure. So feel it, don't fight it. Go with the flow. Give me one more for the road, yeah. I want rock and roll, you betcha. Long live rock and roll. What a tune. Here we go. Rock of ages, still rolling, keep rolling. Rock of ages, rock of ages, still rolling, rock and rolling. We got the power, got the glory. Just say you need it, and if you see it, yeah, say yeah. We're gonna burn this down to the ground. Out to the ground. Yes. That is so fucking rad. Woo! We've never done any Def Leppard before. I liked it. That's a good tune. Happy birthday to Joe Elliott of Def Leppard, a great singer and one of the pioneers of rock and roll. So pioneers of heavy rock and roll with the new wave of British heavy metal. So, anyways, thank you so much, guys, for being here. Another great show, and every time I sing, the numbers go down. Although YouTube went up, Facebook went down. Yeah, man. All right, let me see. How would you feel if Weird Al did one of your songs? Hold on. How would you feel if Weird Al did? That's how you know you've made it. When Weird Al does one of your songs. Actually, the guy who, when Weird Al did Headline News, which was Crash Test Dummies of the song. Once there was a boy who. That used to be my old guitar teacher, Brad Roberts from Winnipeg, Manitoba. He was my guitar teacher when I was like fucking 12 years old. Then he went on to have like a worldwide hit with which was then covered by Weird Al. So maybe Weird Al could do Judas and call it, I don't know, Cheap Ass or something. Cheap Ass in my mind. I don't know. Rico Phil, hope you're all right. France looking at you right now. Your Judas effect is devastating, and your code breaking is just so how. I love you, man. Still keep that way with AW. See you soon on my stream. Thank you. I love France. Very, very cool. 3, a little bit buzzed. Once again, I got no vodka left, so I got to go to my friend's house and pick some up or go to the store, but it's all closed right now. A little bit of the bubbly, sold out. We might do some more, though, very, very soon at a certain time. Really need to record Break the Walls Down? I don't really know. That's a different world, man. I love Break the Walls Down when I was in WWE, but I could never go back and revisit that song. Thanks, though. Hey, Chris, who was your least favorite wrestler to be in the ring with that was stiff? I think we talked about this for a while. I really didn't have a problem with like anybody in the ring. When I was first starting out, this guy called Sanguinario and El Ranger. Actually, leave Sanguinario out of it. I like Sanguinario. He's always smiling. Luis. I said, outside the ring, Luis. Inside the ring, Sanguinario. There's a guy called El Ranger. What a piece of shit he was. Tried to beat me up all the time, and I used to fight him. Have to fight him. So there you go. Favorite babyface of the 80s? Ricky Steamboat, for sure. Oh, my gosh. 2 Minutes to Midnight. That's a hard one, but you will like the Wheel Blocks. Coming out on August 7th, next week. Remember I showed you? Can you see that? I can't turn my... It's an Iron Maiden tattoo. Fuck. We're doing an Iron Maiden song. So stay tuned for it. Wheel Blocks. We'll talk about that next week. Hey, Brent. Happy birthday, man. You guys are pulling a scam on me. We already sang happy birthday to Sam, and she comes back to Brent. So forget it, Brent. No happy birthday to you. How do you feel about Mike Tyson coming back to box Roy Jones Jr.? I think it's okay. I'd rather beat the shit out of Tyson myself. And that might just happen over the next, before the end of the year. I'll tell you what, 2020 is going to be Mike Tyson's worst year. Let me just say that. How did your New Japan change? Did you first run the 90s last year, 2 years ago? Well, in the 90s, I was just kind of a good worker. Not a nobody, but I wasn't Le Champion. And going back in 2020s, I had my own dressing room, and I was the top guy, and people were scared of me, and I beat the fuck out of everybody, and it was so much more fun. I'd love to wrestle again in Japan. I just have nothing planned for it right now. John Moxley versus Jericho's best AEW match. I can't say that that's wrong. I loved working with John. I think it was one of my favorite stories that we've done so far in AEW, and the fact that he won the title right before the Rona took over. Poor dude got kind of caught in a shitty situation. But I love Mox, and he's a great performer, and he's tough as fuck. So, Clifford! Beware of the return of Luther next week, too. Clifford! Love that stuff. One of my favorites. Keith Lee's a big man, and he's very agile and charismatic, so very, very cool. When are you going to kick Chris Lathrop's ass? And who's Chris Lathrop? Chris Lathrop. Who the hell's that? No idea who that is. Tell him to better watch himself and better go shut his ass. Take a video of it and send it to him. Tell him I said that. All right, guys. On that note, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate it. Love you guys. And I want you to have a great week. Stay safe. If you live in North Dakota and South Dakota, we'll see you at the FISA gigs, and we'll see you this week at AW. And thank you so much for joining me. And God bless you guys. We'll see you very, very soon, aka next week. Oh, yeah. Rock till you drop. Rock